This is the Racing Carter podcast, and I'm your host, Ramon Weatherall Sr. My question is to you today, dads. When are you going to finally understand just how important you are to your son? The Reddit post that I'm making this podcast about. It's a Reddit post from a 13-year-old boy about his father. And in the post, the young man is saying how he was at archery practice with another boy and his father, and the father was telling like these inside jokes that him and his son would only stories and inside jokes that him and his son shared together. And he was like, at that moment, it like clicked to him just how important fathers are. And he said it made him sick inside because his father never really tried to form any type of friendship or any type of bond with him. Now, I said archery practice. So obviously this isn't some inner city kid. That just proves the fact that has nothing to do with race. This is across the board, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, it doesn't matter. If you're not in your son's life, you are helping to destroy him inside. This 13-year-old boy, and he's trying to convince himself and his parents get a divorce. It really won't matter because he won't see his father anyway, just in the summer. And his father just basically ruined his confidence because he's always on him that he's got to be perfect, that he's got to do things right. And it just ruined his confidence. That's why he says he has panic attacks, because if he doesn't do something right, he just panics. Your father is the only man who genuinely wants you to be better than him. But a lot of us, we don't know what we're doing. We don't know that the things we're saying, how we're saying it, as much as we're saying it, is not helping. It's helping destroy your son. So you, in some warped way, might want your son to be better than you, but riding him, destroying his confidence, killing his ambitions, never forming any type of friendship or any type of bond with him is not helping. Obviously, this young man didn't have anyone to talk to or needed to get more off his chest. That's why he made this post. But when are you going to get it, dads? When are you going to get it? That you are important and you can't just say and do anything. And a lot of the things that you say to your son, is sometimes you can't take it back. You can't take it back. If you keep riding him, if you keep telling him he's no good, that's not, he's not perfect. He's got to do everything perfect. Like making him feel inferior, making him not want you around. You're doing the opposite of what you should be doing. And that's nobody's fault but your own. It's nobody's fault but your own. I don't care what you do. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how famous you are. I don't care what position you have. Your number one job is to be a father to those children that you made. That's your number one job. And if you're not doing that, then yes, you are a failure. You're a failure. And it's not a racial thing. This is father, son. No matter what race, no matter what religion, no matter what country, you cannot be the one that destroys your son inside. Because if you are, you're a failure. You have failed at your job. You have failed at your job. I don't care what kind of big shot you think you are, how much money you have. You failed at your job if your son doesn't want you around. The title of the post is the son of an abusive, deceptive, basically a janky father. This is what this young man thinks of his father. At 13, there's no more. You don't have a more important job, Dad, than being a father. You don't have you don't. That's you don't have another. You don't have a job that's more important than that. Everything revolves around that. And if you don't believe that, you should have thought of that before you had kids. That's a whole nother podcast. But if you're man enough, you think you man enough to have children, then it's your job to turn him into a man. A man. A man isn't someone who has panic attacks because he thinks he has to do everything right, because his father just rides him and talks bad to him. That's not your job. Look, a lot of us need to deal with our own shit. A lot of us need to deal with our own problems inside. Making your son feel like less than doesn't help you any. It doesn't help you any. Making your son feel less than just because you feel that way. People that feel good about themselves, people that are proud of themselves, don't go around putting other people down. You don't do that. You don't do that. So you're not fooling me. People who feel good about themselves don't go around pointing the finger and seeing what other people's, shortcomings are. No, you're not fooling me. I'm 50 years old. You're not fooling this 50-year-old man. Someone who feels good about themselves doesn't go around pointing the finger at what other people's shortcomings are. No, you don't feel good about yourself. That's why you're going around pointing the finger at other people, because that makes you feel a little better about yourself. But if you're doing that to your son, you're a piece of garbage. And you need to get your shit together. That is this episode of Raising Carter Podcast, asking you fathers, when are you going to figure out just how important you are, and when are you going to get on the right path of doing your son justice by doing everything you can? Nobody's perfect, but doing the best job you can as a father. So if this episode brought you any value, subscribe to the channel, but tell other people about the Raising Carter Podcast. This is the podcast for fathers, for men, for young men to hear and come to hear about issues that we're going through, that has to do with us, has to do with men, young men, fathers, the place to be. So if that is something you're interested in, you're in the right place. And if it isn't, go find your happy place. And I'm out of here. Peace.